Happy Valentine's Day and happy 44th edition of the Five Tool Baseball Podcast. I'm Dustin McComas, joined once again by Drew Bishop. As always, Drew, first off, any big Valentine's Day plans? What did you have? 10 dozen roses delivered to the house, or what do you got in mind for tonight or today?
We got swim lessons.
Okay.
5:30 swim lessons. Yeah.
Nice.
Other than that, kind of low key. I made a mistake, an expensive. We'll call it. I don't want to call it a mistake, but a mistake. Last, guess this was our anniversary. I got taken advantage of in the flower store. So Mary, from a pricing standpoint. So Mary cut me off early on the don't get me flowers for Valentine's. So I was like, okay, well, fair enough. But Coy got her some flowers yesterday.
Nice.
He was in cahoots with my mom. So but other than that, we got swim lessons. That's the big plans for tonight. So
yeah, flowers they're sneaky expensive, and rightfully so. Like if you've ever tried to actually like grow anything like in your backyard or just like keep flowers alive in your house, it's, at least for us, it's not as easy as you think it is. But Liz really wanted, I mean, she's halfway to due date, so it's kind of the taste buds and urges are kind of all over the place, but wanted some chocolate covered strawberries. So we have a Lamb's Candies nearby the house.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that it's like a seasonal thing, and it's like they have a pre-order period where it's like you can pre-order for a couple of days and then it shuts down. So I had to go on there, look at the calendar, like, all right, I can pre-order these 2 days to get it on Valentine's Day. So I had to plan that out. So I'll go pick up those in a little bit. And I'm kind of looking forward to those. I don't know if I've ever had a chocolate covered strawberry, but I like chocolate and I like strawberries. And then grandma's picking up the little man from daycare, and we're going to go have some Italian food in Hyde Park and enjoy that for a little bit. It starts with an A. It's one of the places that's been there for a long time. I don't remember the name of it. I've never been. She's gone a few times, but Italian's usually good.
Asti?
Yes.
Asti?
Yeah. Haven't been, but
is it right next to Hyde Park Grill?
Yes, right there.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah. So we actually,
I'd be inching towards Hyde Park Grill the whole time if I were there. But
no, that's been a frequent stop. But yeah, that whole little area, they added a Curra's over there, which I went to for like the first time in like 7 or 8 years since I gone to a Curra's, and everybody talks about the avocado margarita, and I had my first one, and it's like a smoothie of a margarita, and it's very like velvety avocado flavor. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. But I hope everybody
Tom Brady approves.
Yes. Tom would be a big fan for sure, and I'm sure Giselle would as well. But so happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there that are celebrating. They take a little bit of a different meaning when you have kids in the picture, but still try to celebrate somehow. But the flowers, man. The flowers can sneak up on you. But Super Bowl, I know the famous queso was flying around the house. What else did you eat, and what did you think of the game?
Yeah, so we had these little mini tacos that we found, I think at Central Market, that were pretty good. They were okay. I mean, I don't know if I'd get them again, but the queso, I mean, I actually had a couple different bags of chips that I was rotating through.
Oh, okay.
Just trying some new chips. I had some just plain regular Tostitos on standby just in case. Didn't have to break into those, but a couple like local tortilla chip brands, they were pretty solid. One of them was like a spicy, like I wouldn't compare. It's supposed to be like probably like a knockoff Julio's, I guess.
Okay.
But they were fine. And then just a like a Target brand one that just, I don't know, I was probably hungry when I was in Target and bought them to try. So But they were fine. But we have plenty of queso left over. I actually had to make a couple deliveries yesterday before I even got to eat some. So that was tough.
I almost had a moment where you came back and you had to change the clothes because the queso was all over you because you had ripped into it. You're one of those people that you can't go to a grocery store hungry, or else your bill is just going to be out of control. Like, I'm able to stay pretty rigid in that, like, I've got my list. I know exactly where everything is, and I try to do it as fast as possible and get out of there. But I've had the famous queso before, and it definitely didn't last long in the house. But shout out to my buddy Nikki for having people over for Super Bowl and ordering a big old Pluckers order, which, if you know me and wings, that's my favorite food for sure. And took Jack over there, and he entertained the crowd for a while, running around in his TJ Watt jersey to celebrate Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. So it's a good time. And like we were saying, the game was and I we'll get into scrimmage stuff here shortly from what we saw last few days, but the game was like a close game, but like I don't really recall many like oh my gosh moments. Like I guess the biggest oh my gosh moment was when T. Higgins grabbed Jalen Ramsey's face mask, and had that big touchdown catch to open the second half. But other than that, it was just kind of it felt like it was like there was some buildup, and then it didn't quite reach that buildup. But I guess, you know, if you're an Aaron Donald guy and appreciate Aaron Donald, like what he did in that final series, just kind of, it seems like that play at the sideline got him going, you know, when he legal hit, pushed Joe Burrow out of bounds, and those offensive linemen got in his face. Ever since that point, he seemed like he was a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah, he had a good game. Obviously, you know, arguably the best defensive player ever. It really annoys me. Like, on the field in the post-game interview, they asked him if he's retiring. Like, I can't stand that.
They asked Aaron Donald if he was retiring.
Aaron Donald, and it sounds like there's something to it. Like it's picking up steam. But it sounds like it's a reality. I mean, he didn't shoot it down. I'll never get behind that. I don't think that's appropriate to be asking right then and there. I mean, you could tell he was a little bit annoyed. You know, he did a good job dancing around it and saying, hey, let me enjoy this moment, but just it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest oh my gosh moment to me was like an oh my gosh eye roll right at the end, when the refs who hadn't been throwing flags the whole game decided to insert themselves, you know, in that last drive. I mean, they just couldn't help it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, you know, by the book, a couple of those were probably penalties, but based on them having not called anything the rest of the game, I don't know how you can, you know, decide to insert yourself there, but they did. So not surprising. But
wouldn't be an NFL playoff game without that.
Yeah, I mean, for the result, like it just didn't kind of. I mean, probably just because I don't have a rooting interest for either team, really. You know, I thought the Rams would win. I kind of wanted Cincinnati to win, but you know,
I wanted Cincinnati to win, even as a Steelers fan, which seems, you know, kind of bizarre, but. I like that's a fan base. Like there are people that live and die with Bengals football. Like, are there any actual LA Rams fans? Like, you know, like I'm sure there's a small percentage that follow the team since the days, you know, way back then. But it's just like they're never even really the home team at their stadium when legitimate teams come in there. It's just like it kind of feels like an artificial deal, but it was cool to see Matt Stafford win. And I'm a big Aaron Donald fan, and you know, Odell Beckham, you know, a tough injury for him, but making his mark and getting a ring. So, but yeah, I even as a Steelers guy, I wanted the Bengals to win. But I've got a feeling that's not going to be the last time they get there, as long as they're able to keep Joe Burrow upright. They got to get some help along that offensive line for sure.
Yeah, I mean the AFC. I mean, look at the young quarterbacks.
It's
grind every year.
Look at the young quarterbacks and then realize yours just retired. So yeah, it's a pretty daunting look around the league for sure. But we got some scrimmages to talk about. So when we last talked to y'all was on Wednesday. We've seen some dudes since then, and kind of a housekeeping note, we plan to start recording an episode on Monday, and then either Thursday Wednesday, just kind of depending on what the schedule looks like that upcoming week. We're trying to maximize, seeing games and then being able to talk about them, and also kind of balance our schedules from when we're going out to see stuff as well. So obviously during the high school season, there'll be a lot of district games on Tuesday, and then probably on Friday, maybe some on Thursday occasionally as well. So we'll definitely be recording on Mondays from here on out, and then also one more time later in that week, just to match up with our schedules. But we recorded on Wednesday, and then I headed down to San Antonio for San Antonio Clark. I say San Antonio Clark, it's Clark High School, but it's in the San Antonio area, and at South San Antonio High School, which, by the way, I don't know if you've been, but coach, shout out to Coach Gus, his name's on the scoreboard there. I think that's where he started his coaching career, but their center field is like Minute Maid center field when they had Towles Hill in the flagpole out there, except without a hill, and the flagpole is just beyond the wall. It's like 440 to dead center there. I've never seen a high school field like it. I saw center fielders playing about 200 feet in front of the fence, and they weren't playing shallow. That's just where they were playing. But it was a Wednesday look, and there weren't many games on Wednesday, so there were probably about 20-25 scouts there, getting a look at TCU signee in the 2022 class, Anthony Silva, shortstop that we've talked about, definite 5'12" guy. Saw him a bunch in the summer. Unfortunately, the competition wasn't great, so he wasn't really challenged by much on the mound. Ended up going 2 for 3 with a walk, swiped a bag. Didn't have much action defensively, but made the couple plays that came his way. He looked like he's grown a little bit, kind of filled out a tiny bit more. Had a double into the right center gap. He just looked like Anthony Silva. I think we both agree that he's just a very solid player, just all around. And you've talked to people that played with him, and it seems like he gets a lot of glowing endorsements from players that play with him and compete with him.
Yeah, definitely. He, the way he approaches the game is very mature. He's a good player. You know what you're getting. I think how easy he makes things probably hurts him a little bit. Because he makes some tough plays look easy, which is a good thing. But sometimes it just, takes the flash out of it and may not stand out as much. But, from a consistency standpoint, and if you're TCU or a scout, that's something that speaks to you, for his size, he moves well, just a good player. And, I think, he played with Braden Randall at some point, and Braden, sings his praises and down in Jupiter, I think. But, just talked about the way he went about things, very professional demeanor, like I said, mature. He just handles himself like someone older than he really is. But he's he's a good player and has been for a long time.
Yeah, and it's the way he carries himself, and he's got a little brother that's got a chance to be a guy as well. Switch hitting catcher in the 2024 class, Jacob Silva. I like the way the swing looked from both sides. He got walked a couple of times. Strikes were an issue at times for that competition with the team that Clark was playing, but you can see there's something there. I think that he's going to be a guy that a lot of D1 programs probably follow pretty closely, just to see what the bat looks like across the season, what things look like defensively. But I believe he's already got one scholarship offer already. I believe UTSA has already extended him a scholarship offer. So he's got a chance to be a really good player. And if, we see so often, like, it's easier to bet on little brother when you look at big brother and what he's like. We talked about that with Jaden Duplantier, and, when Dre got to Texas and, seeing how he went about his business and what kind of player he's become, it makes it a little bit easier to bet on those younger guys, because you get a pretty good idea for how they're going to carry themselves, how they're going to work at it, and what kind of player they're going to become. Honestly, the headliner for me coming out of that scrimmage, and again, part of it was just because the Clark hitters weren't challenged a ton on the mound by the stuff, was Jake Dealey. 2024
Speaking of younger brothers.
2024 arm, a younger brother of Jack Neely, who's in pro ball, who's just a physical specimen, a really hard throwing guy. And we had heard that he's been throwing really hard. And he was at an event, a couple of our events in the summer, I think, and the velocity was low to mid 80s. I heard that, hey, this guy's been up to the low 90s, and we get there and his coach is like, hey man, keep an eye on this guy. He's been throwing the ball really well, and he's been up to 90 recently. And I'm thinking, okay, he's throwing second. This is good. We're going to get to see something. And man, he didn't disappoint. He was up to 91 with the fastball, sat 88 to 91 in the first inning, was more 85 to 88 in that second inning, threw a ton of fastballs, only threw a few curveballs, but one of them in particular really flashed. You can tell he's a guy that's able to spin it. And in warmups, he showed 4 pitches, slider, changeup, in addition to that fastball, curveball. But he had a little bit of a feel for kind of the glove side command. Pretty simple, clean delivery. He's probably about 6'1" right now, maybe 6'1", 180, 185-ish. I think you look at older brother and can project that he's not done growing. I think he's got a chance to be a guy that's definitely one of the top arms in the class for 2024. Really good look at him. I think as he matures and starts building up, we'll see that velocity probably tick up even more, and then the ability to hold that as well. But that Clark team's got a chance to be really good. And he's probably going to be one of their main starting pitchers on that team. Also, Cole Kinnison, who played third, and I believe does a little catching as well, switch hitter in the 2023 class, is a guy that's probably going to make a mark for them. But good look at Clark, both on the young side, and obviously when you've got Anthony Silva leading the way, you've got a chance to be really, really good. But you got some eyes on the guy that we have number 1 on the list in the 5 till 55 for 2022. Another standout shortstop that we obviously think very highly of is a Jet Williams for Rockwall-Heath.
Rockwall-Heath.
Sorry, I was jumping ahead to my Round Rock look.
I got over to see Heath versus Plano the other day. I was really excited to see Plano 23 left-handed pitcher Kyle Body, and definitely didn't disappoint. Went 3 innings. He was mid upper 80s, really competitive, worked quick, attacked the zone with fastball and a breaking ball. Good pickoff move. Just really has a feel for what he wants to do and competes. He just attacks. So that was a good first look at him. I want to go see him again, see how he develops and see what the velo does throughout the course of the year. But really impressed with him. Have a lot of people that talk highly of him, and he just comes across as a winner the way people talk about him, and you can see why. He didn't back down against the team that, reigning state champions, but went three hitless innings, struck out 4. Just, like I said, impressive with the way he attacked. I liked him a lot. But on the Heath side, there's quite a bit. They have some big names, guys that have done it for a while. McLennan commit Johnny Lowe started the game, went 3 innings, up to 89, flashed a really good breaking ball. He was followed by Baylor Bauman, HBU commit. Baylor just, very efficient, size wise, he's not huge. You can see there's some potential for a little bit of growth for him. Reminds me of Kyle Loesch. Just, I don't know why, but okay. that's kind of the vibe I got from him. But real efficient with his actions. Ball jumps out of his hand. Flashed a good curveball. Definitely a competitor. You can see he's staring guys down after strikeouts in the scrimmage and stuff. But he was treating it like it was a real game, and you always like seeing that. And another guy, Jet, the headliner, that he did too. I mean, he hit a ball that probably should have been caught, fell in between the outfielder and second baseman, and he was standing on second. He didn't pout that he didn't hit it well, but just busted out of the box. Just everything that guy does is electric. The tools are loud. He makes really good contact, plays really hard. He's put a lot of work in the weight room. Just seems like he really took advantage of the off season. And, from everybody you talk to around the Heath program, and you just hear how hard he works. And, he definitely doesn't waste opportunities to get better. And it's not just at baseball, it's strength and conditioning. It's being a good teammate and a leader. But I just can't imagine he doesn't have a big year. I mean, the biggest thing he's going to have to worry about is not getting pitched to. And, luckily he's got 2024 big time power bat, Caleb Huber, behind him. If Caleb can protect him, I think Jet's going to have a monster year. Caleb hit a ball hard in the game. They have a move in from California, a kid named Colin Adams that played on I think he played on the same high school team with Max Muncy.
Oh wow, okay.
California,
like Thousand Oaks, I think.
Yep. And I had him down the line at a 3.96 on a bunt.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was moving. So there's some athleticism there, and he pitched later. When he was pitching, I was chasing around the 22-month-old, so I didn't get to lock in on him. But he came in, and in a short period of time, he's impressed everyone over there.
The rich get richer, as if Rockwall-Heath needed more talent to come in.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Tranberg. He didn't throw, and then Cade Sharp will be back mid-year. Cade's little brother threw, and you can definitely, he's a sophomore, I believe, and you can I think Jack Sharp, I think is his name, but you can see there's some potential there for sure. I know they have a freshman catcher that's in basketball. Parker Ivy, I think is his name. His dad was a big time basketball player at Dallas Christian and then Abilene Christian. That guy used to score like 30 or 40 points a game in high school. But so, they'll probably be done with their season the next week or two. I think they run up against Duncanville, his dad was saying, in round 2. So
tough matchup there.
If they win round 1,
tough matchup there.
Yeah, I think they've got that one penciled in. But he's a freshman starting on varsity, or I don't know if he starts, but he plays quite a bit on varsity.
Which is quite the statement for that program.
At a 6A program. And then, there's going to be a chance for him to come in and catch. He plays for the Dallas Tigers in the summer. And there's another one of his teammates on the Tigers that plays for Heath that should play quite a bit this year, actually. Brady Lattice. How's
it feel to not be able to pronounce a name for a change?
Yeah, well, maybe I did pronounce it. We'll see.
You may. We don't know.
I may have guessed it right, but yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a chance. They're gonna be really good on the mound. Got some experience at some of the right places, but like I said, Jet was the headliner. He plays hard, plays fast, and it's a different sound off his bat right now. So excited to see him. He made one play in the hole that he threw on the run that was, you could kind of feel all the scouts, make a little note right there. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, saw what we needed to see.
Because that's what they're gonna be keying in on the most is I think with the way his summer went, and then those guys that got a fall look at him. Mm-hmm. I think that you're not going to find anybody that doesn't think he's going to hit. I think with everybody, the question is, can the glove stick at short on the dirt? Does he need to be an offensive minded second baseman? But I mean, I think he can play short. Now we'll see. I hope there's an opportunity where he just has a game where there's 9 grounders hit at him, but with that pitching staff's going to miss so many bats. It's kind of, but yeah, it's just like a simple play like that. I mean, if you're a scout there, that might be the only look you get at what he does defensively besides in and out and that sort of stuff. And, I think that's the question with him, because I think everybody thinks the guy is going to hit. I mean, just because that's what he does. I mean, he gets on time, hardly ever seems swing and miss anything. But I'm excited to see that Heath team when they come playing that Round Rock Georgetown tournament down here in the last week in February. Loaded event. I mean, there's going to be so much talent there. And speaking of Round Rock, I got some eyes on them Friday, which crazy weather. I was in shorts Friday because it was about 80. And then Saturday,
I got a good Saturday story for you.
Yeah, we'll get to your Saturday story, but I was thinking of you when I was in the Target parking lot and it started sleeting, and I was like, "Whoa! I didn't think this was." I'm a weather nerd, and I didn't even anticipate that happening today. But on Friday,
I did not either.
Yeah. It sounds like that camera work was a little tough in that freezing weather. But Friday I went to Round Rock to see Westlake and Round Rock play. Travis Sikora, I mean, we're burying the lead here. Like I roll in and, Travis Sikora ends up hitting 99 miles an hour in the first inning. It's just like, and the crazy thing is like, I was like, looked down at my gun. I was like, whoa. But in my head, I was like, I'm not terribly surprised because we know what kind of talent he has on the mound. We know what kind of arm strength he has on there. And, I was talking to his dad some before the game, and you could tell that he's put in a lot of work, because he's a big athlete, but I think he's 6'6" or 6'7", but you watch the way he moves and stuff like that. And you can tell that, they've put in a lot of work in terms of, kind of the little things about trying to be more efficient in your delivery and your flexibility and just how everything works. But yeah, he comes out pumping 99 miles an hour in the first inning, just obviously just overpowering guys with the fastball. He held that velocity. He still was touching 97 miles an hour in the second inning. Be fascinating to see what he looks like because, he's going to get stretched out this year as a guy that's going to be a starter for them. But really the headliner, I mean, which is crazy to say because he threw 99 miles an hour as a junior, was the slider. Has definitely taken a step forward. And I know that's something that he's worked really hard at. It was around 87 to 88 miles an hour pretty consistently. Kind of had that slider shape. There's one in particular, I think I got it on video, where you can see the left-handed batter kind of have that late flinch because it's like you're gearing up for that fastball and you think that's what it is as it's coming in there. And then that slider kind of breaks off on your hands there on the inner half. And it looked like a weapon for sure. If that continues, I mean, he's number 2 in the state on our rankings. And I think that, right now, I think everybody's probably got a future first round grade on him once that time comes. But if that slider keeps trending the way it's trending, man, it's going to be hard to find many players nationally that are as talented as him. And he's a two-way guy. Like it's kind of reminds me of Jace LaValliette when I first saw him in the outfield. You don't see guys that tall kind of glide around the field defensively like Jace LaValliette does. And Travis kind of does that defensively at shortstop. Like it's you don't often see guys 6'6" or 6'7" playing shortstop and able to move around athletically like he does. And he hit a hard double to the wall in left center. He's got some raw power. I mean, when it finds a barrel, it's going to jump off there for sure. But looks like he's poised for just a huge season, both with the bat, with the arm on the mound, and then even defensively with the glove. I mean, just firmly established as one of the premier talents in the nation, but definitely in the state of Texas. It was a fun look to get to see him, and I'm kind of pinching myself because it's like, hey, that's 15 minutes from my house. It's gonna be fun to follow that one throughout his career. But shout out to Braden Best too. He's a 2023 player for Round Rock, and kind of I guess they label him a utility guy because he can play at different positions. Had him down in my notes as a guy that was kind of catching people's eye there in the summer and stuff like that. And, I don't think Round Rock knows for certain who's going to catch, but Braden Best hopped in there and caught Travis Sikora. And I don't think people understand that a high school catcher catching that kind of stuff, it's really hard. You're catching 96 to 99 and it's got some life to it. And then that kind of slider. And oh, by the way, it's coming out of a 6'7" frame with some extension to that. That's tough. And man, he got in there, he caught it. I thought he received it well. I don't know what colleges are looking at him defensively, but after that look at catcher, I think he's got a chance to do it at a pretty high level. And that's a really valuable commodity to have that sort of skill set back there. So perhaps he becomes that catcher for Round Rock, or maybe he just becomes Travis Sikora's personal catcher, which I think is going to get him some looks. But that Round Rock team was solid. They've got Andrew Harden came in, a senior right-hander, was up to 89. He's committed to Southwestern. I think he's got a chance to be a solid arm for them on the mound. But they've got some talented guys. But man, Sikora was just the headliner there. And Westlake, I think a lot of their talent concentration is kind of that 2023 group, guys like Blake Peterson, Texas commitment. Once he found his timing later in the scrimmage, he hit a really hard ball into the right center. Got in front of the diving right fielder. He ended up on third base. He's got a chance to really hit it at a high level. Theo Gillen, 2024 class, he found his timing in his final at bat, hit a line drive the opposite way down the line, kind of looped in for a double there. But athletically, man, he can run, looks the part. You kind of watch him in warmups and you're thinking, okay, like, let's see what this guy's got defensively and with the bat and things like that. And made all the plays defensively, actually got challenged a couple of times, made all the plays, showed some arm strength as well. I think his arm has improved. I think that he's one of those guys athletically that I think you get him in the batter's box and say, hey, we're going to do this or whatever. And he's able to just do it. He's got some torque. He's got some bat speed from the left side. He's got a chance to be a really, really special player. But that Westlake team's got some talent, kind of more on the younger side. They had a senior, DJ Johnson, actually transferred in from Aikens. He was up to 87, uncommitted senior right-handed pitcher who I think is good enough to go pitch somewhere for somebody. Maybe it's at the D2 level or whatever, but he's a guy I think that coaches will probably want to get some eyes on during the course of their season.
Well, yeah, and I think Sage Sanders had a couple hits too.
He got a hit off Sikora. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it. He got a hit off Sikora, got on time there, hit a single up the middle, and he had another hard contact later on for a base hit. And he's of all their hitters, I think that he probably had the best ability to get on time throughout the course of that, which we know is a challenge right now, but also kind of too can separate the guys that might have a little bit more of a natural hitting feel, of that they're able to just kind of pick up a bat, get the box and get on time and get some stuff. But yeah, University of Houston commitment. He's got a chance to hit at a high level for them in the middle of their lineup somewhere.
Yeah, I know. His dad has worked at, he's a chiropractor or by trade at least, and he's worked with several with the U.S. Olympic teams at a couple different Olympics. I think he worked for some Australian rugby teams. They lived in Australia for a while. But yeah, no, his dad used to seeing stuff at the highest level. So it doesn't surprise me that Sage isn't afraid of the stage at all. I think he's going to have a big year. Like I said, he's always hit. He hasn't always been very big. I think he's starting to grow a little bit, but as we know, a lot of times those guys that have to figure out a way to survive before they grow can end up being some of the best ones. Mm-hmm. So excited to see what Sage can do. But yeah, they've got a couple big time tournaments coming up, so it's going to be exciting to see how they do and see how their young talent performs. Yeah,
another guy I didn't mention, Aiden Bennett. I had to look back at my notes. I don't think I got to see him swing the bat much because kind of in those later, how it is in scrimmages, you kind of get into the depths of the pitching staff and strikes can kind of be a question mark after the first couple of guys or so. But I know, he's coming off of Tommy John, played second base, looked the part physically. I think that he's a guy that a lot of college coaches are going to be evaluating pretty closely this season.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it was funny you mentioned, the cleanliness of some of the scrimmages and the play. I felt like there was, from seeing early in the week what was a first scrimmage to a second scrimmage, it was a lot more crisp. You could tell that they had played already. They just, seemed to, everybody seemed to know where to stand, or, I don't know. They were hopefully they were just working on stuff, but I saw more pickoffs to third base last week than I think I've seen in the last 15 years. But
oh boy.
I bet I saw 5 pickoffs to third base over the last week, but hey, they, find outs. If you can work it and find it out, it's big. You can come up at a big time. But yeah, I got to go over and see Arlington Martin and Waxahachie on Saturday. It was not warm. It was in the upper 30s, but it did not feel like it.
Yeah.
And parts of the stadium just kind of felt like you're in a wind tunnel. But it was, my video work was lacking. Now, part of that I will put on the setup. I couldn't really get to the net to really just.
That's one thing that we're finding out.
There was a gap between the stands and the net, so I couldn't effectively get the net out of the way. But those are just excuses. But Arlington Martin's loaded. Obviously a historic program. They're led off Tristan Biddle, A&M commit, 2024 outfielder, led off. First strike he saw, he blasted it up the middle for a single. say up the middle is kind of left center, but he hit it hard. He reminds me like physically of a young Calvin Murray.
Okay.
Just kind of looks like him. He's physical. He's a football player, but can run well. Just good looking athlete. 5'2", 55. Logan Myers and Max Grubbs, got to see them too. Logan was playing short, didn't get a whole lot of action over there and didn't get a whole lot to hit. But Max Grubbs, I got to see an inning of him. That was my first time to see him. Spun a really good breaking ball, especially he had played in game 1 and pitched through the first inning of game 2. And, it was noticeably colder there.
Yeah.
But the delivery was good, clean, efficient, threw a good breaking ball, which was probably one of the better pitches I've seen over the last week or so. But impressive. He looked good. It was definitely a tune-up. He coming off, I think he had an injury, but definitely just, getting work in. It just, kind of looked professional and mature. It was a good outing, but wasn't overthrowing, which, was good. Never want to see that too early in the season, or never want to see him overthrowing, but, you could tell he was getting work in and working on stuff, but he looked good. And then our guy, JT,
hitters hit, man.
He does.
Hitters hit.
Hey, and he's getting faster too. I think just as he's gotten stronger, but he played center field.
He did. Okay.
Yeah. Played center and a little bit of first, but man, he's just a baseball player.
The Longhorn coaches don't like hearing that. He starts playing center field, moving around out there pretty well.
Well, he had the quarterback like hand warmer thing, like tucked around,
nice.
So he went no sleeves, but had the hand warmer on. But man, it was so funny because like he first at bat double, second at bat double, handful of the scouts left after that, saw what they needed to see, bounce. A couple of guys stayed around this hopefully to get that third at bat, and he works the count. I think it was either 2-2 or 3-2, and he got hit. They were so pissed. And I was like, I knew I was staying, so I wasn't all that worried. But those guys that had stuck around probably an extra hour to
in those weather conditions,
hopefully get that third at bat. But man, I was so mad at myself. I felt unprepared. I was dressed fairly warm, but not as warm as I should have been. But I lucked out. I don't know when I put them in my bag, but at the bottom of my backpack, I found some hand warmers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
About 2 or 3 innings in. So, but those come in handy when you got to take your glove off to film.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get more video of Max Grubbs, and sorry, Max, but what was probably one of the better pitches he threw. Like the video was pathetic because my hands were shaking because it was so cold. And it was you could probably get dizzy watching it, but yeah, that was good. I got to get out and see some of those guys. I'll never get tired of watching JT play baseball. He's one of those guys that, just, you can tell has a real love for baseball and, likes being in charge on the field, directing guys, and just, he's invaluable. He's like another coach on the field, and you can tell the game's slow for him right now. And he looked like mid-season form. So I think I'm going to get back and see him. I might get to see him play Tavion Vaughns sometime during district, but
okay.
Interested to see what he looks like halfway through the year. But it was good to get out and see those guys. We've now seen 11 of our top, the 110 out of the 22 and 23, 55. So we're 10% in 1 week. Feels pretty good.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good rate for sure. And that's not even counting the summer and the fall. So it's all just strictly high school season look. And yeah, we haven't even got to the tournaments. I mean, these are just the scrimmages. So that's the tournaments are going to be, knock on wood, if we get the weather to cooperate and everything else. I mean, it's some of these tournaments are just absolutely loaded in terms of the team, the quality of teams and the players. I mean, it's going to be 22s and 23s and 24s. I mean, I feel like we're noticing a lot of 24s already. That's really going to help us once we start trying to go through the process of making that list as well. But yeah, it's I'm definitely a little jealous. You got to see both Jet Williams and Jared Thomas. I mean, Jared Thomas to me is the best left-handed hitter in the class. There's just a really natural feel for hitting, and he's athletic. Like, I don't think people realize, because he's a guy that plays so much first base or has in the past, like, yeah, he's athletic. It's a really athletic swing, and that's one of the reasons why I like it so much.
Yeah, he's starting to fill out a little bit.
Yeah, it's just kind of that athletic, movement and rotation going on in the batter's box. But hitters hit, man, and he hits. I know he hit a bomb in his first scrimmage, and then follows it up with some doubles in front of you and some frigid conditions. And yeah, I think he's poised to have a really special season. His stats last year for Waxahachie were stupid. I think he hit like close to 500 with a bunch of bombs and doubles and stuff like that. And as we're finding out, like, these guys don't always get pitched to, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. So to put up that kind of stats is a pretty crazy. But yeah, we're definitely learning on the video side. It's not every stadium is as consistent. I feel like I've put myself in harm's way where you have to kind of hold the net with your fingers. And the thought did cross my mind. I've got two fingers out there holding this net while Travis Sikora is throwing 99 miles an hour. So if these guys make contact, it's probably gonna be late, and they might foul one back kind of in my direction. But yeah, you gotta hold the net and the gun, and sometimes it's the net and the stopwatch and getting in there and stuff like that. I don't know about you, but like squatting down or getting a knee on concrete and stuff, and my legs aren't in shape for that yet. Peloton hasn't prepared me for that sort of thing. I'm going to start getting back to the gym and doing some squats or something, because I was a little sore crouching down everywhere getting some hitting video.
Yeah, well, I got to get over. Well, I say that I feel bad sometimes when I'm standing there because I feel like I'm blocking somebody.
Yeah.
But I gotta do the job.
Yeah.
Shout out to there was a film assistant for Plano. My man was working. He had the radar and he had the video, and he says he does some part-time stuff with the Frisco Rough Riders. So the kid loves baseball. He was fun to talk to during the Heath Plano game. But you see a lot of that. That's one of the things I love about like the high school environment. You get the fun environments, but you get these kids that are involved in the program that might not necessarily play, and they're just all in and having a good time. And they're part of the team, and they work really hard and provide some stuff that wouldn't be available without them.
And baseball careers can start that way. You start doing, get familiarizing yourself with the video element. And, I think when I was at Sci Fair, I don't know if they had TrackMan, but they had the new spin rate radar gun set up behind home plate, and they had something displaying the miles per hour and stuff like that. And like if that's a way to carve out a baseball career, is because I know if let's say that guy goes to a major D1 school, and he can work with the college baseball program. Like, hey, I was at so and so high school, I did the video, I have familiarity with TrackMan and cutting up video and stuff like that. Like, you can make yourself really valuable. Like, so many big time like scouts and executives and people like that started doing video stuff for different levels of baseball. So yeah, it's but yeah, we'll have to get used to the different settings for nets and videoing and stuff like that. I feel like I go to the park now, I'm like, oh yeah, like I can stand here and here and here, and it's great. And like Sci Fair was perfect for watching pitchers, and Sci Ranch not so much, because you have to like crawl under the stadium to even try to get into the element. So
you watch I picked up, you just watch the guys who know what they're doing. I'm sure some of the pro scouts are probably laughing at the way I was doing things early.
They might be laughing, but I guarantee you they're clicking on those videos once you publish them.
Well, I didn't get Jared's first double because I was trying to mess with the net and all this, and it just wasn't good. And then I kind of looked around to see where they were standing, and they had a pretty good high vantage point. So the video that I did get was copying off of those guys, and it's kind of they're probably like, okay, yeah, it took him a couple innings to figure this out, but we know where to stand. And
Yeah.
I'm learning. So
yeah, so we got to see a lot of guys, man. It's exciting to knock out. I've already seen I think 4 scrimmages, and I'm really looking forward to this week, especially on Tuesday. I've got a very ambitious plan on Tuesday. I almost don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to jinx it, because
yeah,
I think it's got a chance to be a really good day if I can pull this off. But then I've got some other stuff planned for I think Georgetown and Lake Travis later this week. And then one other one I think on Thursday or Friday. I have to look back at my schedule, but definitely seeing a lot of talent. And there's definitely some guys creating some buzz for themselves already. We've got 2 guys in the state of Texas that have already touched 99 miles an hour on the mound. So it's shaping up to be a fun season for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I've been going back and forth to trying to figure out the pitching matchups and see if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, and then college baseball gets started this weekend, so I think we're
that's right.
Some of the college baseball, I don't know, showdown or whatever they're calling it at the Rangers ballpark on Friday. Get to catch. I'm hoping my man, a couple Team Bish, Jake Bennett, maybe starting on Friday. I hope I get to see him. They're playing Auburn. So, and then I've got a weird little schedule that I might try to make knock out a couple of our 55 guys on Friday afternoon and night. So we'll see, fingers crossed, but that'll be weather permitting. Cause if I'm sitting there in the nice Rangers ballpark and it's sleeting outside again, I might stay there all day, but
I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame you, especially on the pitching side. It's tough for these guys to get out there and scrimmage and throw and that sort of stuff. Like it's brutal.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really recommend it for anybody, but so a bunch of scrimmages knocked out already, a bunch of ones upcoming, college baseball season on the horizon, opening weekend for those guys this week. We'll see if Major League Baseball decides to get its stuff together. That's I'm trying not to get too frustrated with that, but it's definitely reaching the point where spring training is certainly going to be delayed, and we'll see what happens from there. So I need my fantasy baseball season in Major League Baseball, or else I'm going to be in a bad mood. But a lot of talent we've seen already, a lot of 5 to 55 guys we've seen already, a lot of 2024 guys we've seen that are probably going to be 5 to 55 guys once we get through that list. And I'm seeing a lot of unsigned seniors too that I think are going to find a home, certainly talented enough to play, and kind of bumping into a lot of these guys too they're big time academic guys that are unsigned seniors. So if you haven't checked that out, we're publishing a lot of stuff at fivetool.org on the writing side about what we're seeing and stuff like that. And
on that note, for some of these guys, we suggest this to people, but number one, make it easy to find you on Twitter. And then, you can save yourself some time and some coaches some trouble. If you have good grades or a good GPA or a class rank or test score, put it in your profile.
Publish it. Yeah.
Put it for people to see, because I know that sticks out. I know Kyle Body is a really good student. And I know there's some really good academic schools interested in him because of that. But
so
that
he's shoved it twice against good teams, right? Who did he play the first scrimmage?
Yeah, he threw against Rockwall.
Okay, so that's two of the best teams in the state coming out with the bang, just carving guys up.
He's not afraid. He attacks, man. He gets after it, and he's a winner. He's gonna end up carving himself out a role at a good D1 program for sure.
But on the Twitter thing, it's great advice. You first initial, last name, whatever, just something to where when people Twitter search you or Google your name, it comes up. And if you've got great academics, put in there, hey, this GPA, this SAT or ACT or whatever, here's my email address. Make it as easy as possible for these guys to find you and get in touch with you, because if they can't find you and you've got some really bizarre name and doesn't even match up and no information to get in contact with you or whatever, it's tough. And I'm noticing too that a lot of these high schools are doing a good job of putting their guys out there when there's highlights and stuff like that, and kind of helping them, helping it be more discoverable and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're a player, man, put your name, your Twitter handle, put all that stuff on there, make it really easy for people to find you, because it increases the likelihood that they're going to find you and be able to reach out and perhaps recruit you and stuff like that. So it's definitely good advice for sure. But I think that's a good place to end on episode 44. We cruised through 13,000 downloads this past weekend. So thanks again so much to everybody who's tuning in, who's downloading, who's listening. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave a nice rating and review. It would help. It kind of helps the podcast get more discoverable and things like that. We're publishing these on our YouTube page as well. So if you'd like to kind of watch a podcast as it happens, we're publishing all those on YouTube, and we're publishing a lot of highlight stuff as well. So we got the rocking the gear. But we're publishing some highlight stuff from across the nation, some stand-up performances and things like that. So trying to get our YouTube channel up and going. It's just kind of another outlet for those baseball fans to go, watch players, or if you're a player, maybe watch yourself and listen to these podcasts in kind of another form. So Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, that's where you can find us. Just search 5-Tool Baseball Podcast and it'll pop up pretty quick. But Drew, you got anything else before we shut this down on Monday, a Valentine's Day Monday?
No, I'm just looking forward to swim lessons tonight. This is week 4. We're going Mondays and Wednesdays.
How's he doing with the water?
He loves it. We had done it in Austin for a while. So he'd gotten used to it there. And then we took, with the move and everything, we took some time off and then started him back about a month ago. And our first time back in the water, he hated it. I was like, oh boy. But since then, he's like, Mary's brother, Coy's uncle, calls him the fish because of his name, Coy. But he's taking back his fish ways. He loves swimming, so yeah, he's done well the last couple of weeks. And yeah, usually it's mom's always the one that's in the water with him though, because they won't let us both in. But
you'll be in there today.
Water. I think so. You'll be in there. It's trending. It's trending in that direction. But I don't know. He's probably a better swimmer than me right now though. So we'll see. Yeah.
Good to get them acclimated to the water for sure. We can definitely tell a difference with Jack in the bathtub now after he had some lessons. He's kind of rolling around on his belly, on his back, and trying to swim in the bathtub and all that sort of stuff. So it's definitely good, so they get acclimated to that. But well, thanks for tuning in and listening. I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day. A lot of good food specials around. If you're into buffalo wings, I know Pluckers does some specials and things like that. If you're trying to celebrate your own personal Valentine's Day. But if you're like us, you've got the kiddos, and then squeezing in some special time for the wife, flowers, chocolate covered strawberries, whatever it is, whatever makes your Valentine's Day special. I hope you enjoy it. Until we talk to y'all next time later this week on about Thursday or Friday, take care.